Okay, let's start with the project where we left it.
Let's drag and drop total on the rows. But that's not what we're looking for. We are looking for a histogram. And the problem that's happening here is that since age is a measure, Tableau wants to perform a function on it. Okay? But we would never get what we're looking for if that were the case. So we're gonna have to create bins. Let's create bins. Let's call it age bins. And the size of the bins is the difference between the age. So I'm gonna say 10. And that should be right on top. We're gonna drag it and drop it onto columns once again. And that's exactly what we're looking for. Let's also get the label of the revenue. And there it is. So ages between 10 to 20 have spent almost $7 million. So I want to make these labels more readable, where it says 10, 20, 30, 40, and so on. So let's edit the alias. So I want to make these labels more readable, where it says 10, 20, 30, 40, and so on. So let's edit the alias. So if it's 10, we're gonna say less than 20. And we're gonna say greater than 70.
Okay, I'll have to do this greater than 70.
Alright. So if you want an actual histogram, you can make it continuous. And there it is. But I kind of prefer the bar graph, so that's what I'm gonna make it look like. Let's also get a different color. Okay, let's also get rid of the grid lines once again. So there it is. Let's rename this chart. I want to call it revenue per page. Task number 4, quantity and discount percentage correlation. So let's drag and drop discount percentage onto columns and the total, or I'm sorry, the quantity ordered onto rows. And the same problem as before is happening. Since both these columns are measures, Tableau wants to perform a function. So we're going to change both these columns to dimensions. And let's also filter where the discount percentage is 0. So let's say the discount percentage should be at least 1%. And there it is. So if you notice closely, there is a pattern that's being formed here. As the discount percentage is increasing, the quantity ordered is also increasing. And there is a positive correlation. So therefore, we can say that if the discount percentage of a product is high, the quantity ordered is likely to be high as well. Let's go ahead and rename this chart. Alright. Task number 5. Percentage of revenue per region. So let's go back here, drag and drop region on the.
Okay, let's open a new one. Where is the region?
Columns. Let's also get the total. Okay, so instead of a bar chart, let's make it a pie chart. So there it is. Let's also make it a bit bigger. Let's also get the labels. So instead of the revenue, we want the percentage. So we're gonna go here. Here to quick table calculation, we're gonna say percent of total, and there it is. But let's say that you want a donut chart instead of a pie chart. We're gonna do it this way. And a donut chart is not part of Tableau's built-in charts. So we're gonna play around here with Tableau until we get a donut chart. So first of all, you're going to create calculated field. We're going to call it a 0 axis. Okay. So there it is. Let's drag and drop this onto rows. Let's do that once again. So we have two charts here, and Tableau has organized this for us. So if you see here, it's arranged in tabs. So the first tab here is the first chart, and the second tab here is the second chart. Okay? So I'm gonna get rid of everything on the second chart. You're gonna see why in just a second. Let's also make it a bit bigger. Alright. Now, let's go back to the first chart. Let's make this one bigger than the second chart. That's way too big. Okay. Alright, that's good. And now we're gonna say dual axis, and these are gonna merge these charts. There it is. So all we gotta do is just change the color to white. And that's our donut chart. Let's also get rid of this label where it says 0 axis. Okay, let's also get rid of the grid line here. Alright, let's finally label our chart. Task number 6. Revenue per category per gender. So let's
Okay, let's try revenue per gender. Let's find the gender from above. There you go.
go ahead, drag and drop the gender and category. let's also get the total, which is the revenue. So that's exactly what we're looking for. But here's the problem. In my opinion, this chart is not presentable. So, since there are a lot of things going on at the same time, and the category column is being repeated twice, so the fix for this problem would be if we were to change this chart into a butterfly chart. But the butterfly chart is not part of Tableau's built-in charts, so we're gonna have to create it ourselves. So in order to do that, if we were to separate the revenue based on the gender, it's gonna make things much easier. So let's go here to create calculated field. So let's go back to the data source here. And if you see here in this gender column, the gender is either F or M, as you can see here. So that's exactly what we're doing here. If the gender is F for the female revenue, then we want the value that's in the total column. Let's go ahead and do the same for the male revenue.
Okay, male revenue.
Alrighty, so we got both our calculated fields over here. So I'm gonna get rid of the total column that we had in the beginning and also the gender. But instead, we're gonna drag and drop the ones that we just created. And there it is. So how do we make this look like a butterfly? So if you remember, we had a 0 axis from the last chart. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like. It's absolutely nothing except a 0 inside of it. Okay, so that's gonna help us out here. So I'm gonna drag and drop this 0 axis in between the male and female revenue. And we are gonna go navigate to the 0 axis tab right over here. Let's drag and drop the category right onto label. And instead of automatic, let's make it text. And there it is. Let's also go ahead and rename this column here. And also, let's get rid of this 0, which is the tick mark. Okay. Now, we're gonna uncheck show header on the categories. Column. And there it is. Now, we're gonna go ahead and make this chart, the female chart, reversed. We're almost there. Okay, let's also sort it. And it's almost looking like a butterfly. And let's get rid of the grid lines here.
Okay, so that's a good chart. This is the first time we're making the whole chart, and I have no idea how to make this one. I like it.
Here. Okay, let's also add some color. Let's do the same for the male revenue chart. As well. And there it is. That's our butterfly chart. And let's not forget the label for these charts. All right, there we go. go ahead and rename this chart. And there you have it. Task number 7, build the dashboard. So before we get started building the dashboard, let's go ahead and do some formatting. You see here the numbers are way too long. Let's make them short and concise. So I'm gonna go here to total, let's go to format. Let's go to numbers, we want a currency. Let's make it 1 decimal place and in millions. And it looks much better now. So let's go ahead and do the same for every single chart. So for this chart over here, the title says month-wise revenue already. So there's no need for this label over here. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. Now for the donut chart, if I hover my cursor over the chart, it says 0 axis. And this is from the second chart, or the inner pie chart. So we're gonna go here to tooltip. We're gonna get rid of that. Now let's go to the outer chart. Once again, you can see the 0 axis. Okay, so let's go to the correct tab. Here, let's go to tooltip. Let's get rid of that. there it is. So in order to create a dashboard, you can see this icon over here. It says new dashboard. So there it is. Let's go ahead and make this a bit more wider. That's good enough. Let's also go ahead and get a background color. Alright. So instead of having it tiled, let's do floating. And everything's gonna be drag and drop. So I'm just gonna go here and drag and drop every single chart. So let's go ahead and get a title for the dashboard. So we're gonna drag and drop this text object. Let's also go ahead and get a filter. So I was thinking that we can get a filter based on the categories, and the categories column belongs to this chart over here. So we can go here to more options. Let's go to filters. We can select category directly from the dashboard. Okay, so instead of having a list, let's make it a drop down. So we
I think this looks all good. So
this blank off.